Hey guys, I just got home from work. I had a pre-light today and I just kind of wanted to share my experience. I felt like it would be good content and maybe you guys can learn something from it. So the plan was that we were building out a podcasting studio. It's part of a larger podcast studio that I helped to build out. And basically what I was doing today is doing a continuation of the grid. So a grid is basically metal piping that is connected together like a giant erector set, and it's suspended from the ceiling and it's held up and it's drilled into the framework of the ceiling so that you can mount your lights to it and basically hang your lights overhead. So what we were doing is we were extending that grid and then we were putting lights up into that grid so that we could have overhead top-down lighting for a podcast. This little set was a two-person podcast. It was two people talking, and originally I had this little drawing that I made where I intended on having, two people just sitting like this, and then there would be three Aputure 600 Novas, which would be kind of a hair light that wrapped all the way around the set, and then there would be one large 600D that would be going into a 150 softbox. And I really love the 150 softbox. I think it looks fantastic. I've used it on a lot of different projects for a key light. It's really nice to boom out over the top of people, and in the grid it's going to work really well. So with the 150 softbox, because it's so close, it pretty much acts as a key and a fill, and it gives a nice soft wrap all the way around the subject. So originally the plan was to have 4 lights mounted up in the grid, but when we got to the studio, we realized that we could only find 3 out of the 4 junior grid clamps to go up into the grid. So with only 3 grid clamps, I can only mount 3 lights. This actually ended up being better. It was simpler, and I think it's going to look better, have a little bit more contrast in the back. And sometimes that's all you need, key, fill, back, 3-point lighting. It's what we, learned from the beginning. Is like all we need, and then we end up getting more and more complicated. And you look on Instagram and YouTube and you see all these like crazy convoluted setups and all these DPs and gaffers doing all this insane stuff. Really, you don't need to make it that complicated. If the people are well lit and you can see them and there's a little bit of separation from the background, so a lot of times that's all you need. Hopefully you guys were able to learn a little bit from this and kind of see what this setup was. It was pretty easy for us. I'm sure the client's going to be super happy. It was a cool build. I got to take some photos and videos, and I'm glad I could share some of it with you guys. Hopefully this was helpful. If you enjoyed this video, please go ahead and share it with a friend. Once again, I'm Scott Stevenson. Thanks for watching. Feel free to check out my past videos as well as subscribe to see my future ones. Peace. Oh, and click on one of these videos that YouTube thinks that you might want to check out. It's recommended.